Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, I'm super hungover and I hope you guys are all having a fantastic 2025, but we have some pretty big breaking news I want to go and share with you guys that came out as of today with the Nintendo Switch 2. As you guys kind of know, I'm going to be on a little bit of a pseudo break, but we'll have another like 2 or 3 videos on the channel itself, and one kind of pertaining to like the future of the channel as well, before I kind of go on like a proper break itself. But sometimes I will be popping on making videos like this when big news happens, and I do believe at least for this, although a lot of my channel's more on like the PlayStation or Xbox side as well, I feel like all consoles kind of deserve some attention. And this is some big news over here because we have like 4 different things to go cover for the Switch 2. Now, as you guys probably know, we've had a somewhat confirmation that the Switch 2 will be coming, being a real thing from Nintendo themselves. This year of 2025, it will most likely be coming out probably sooner rather than later, especially with all the leaks and accessories and conversations. And as of right now, the internal specs, like we kind of know roughly what's going on. And apparently right now, people are not too happy with it because apparently a lot of people were expecting the kind of standard for it to be a PS4 Pro, not PS5 Pro, PS4 or PS4 Pro. But the one big issue with all that is that, well, the Pro version is actually maybe overshooting it. And people have now kind of confirmed, or at least kind of based on the internal specs. Of course, like a big disclaimer, we won't know it officially until it's officially out by Nintendo themselves. So like this could also like leaks, rumors, etc. But a lot of these leaks, especially when we saw the PS5 Pro, usually are pretty true, especially when it's very close for it coming out. So keep that in mind, and I'm not being a hater on it. I myself will be a day one Switch 2 buyer, and I do have high hopes for Nintendo, and of course, mobile gaming is meant to be a little bit on the lesser side in comparison to say like a proper at-home console. So those forewarnings, so if I hopefully don't get roasted if this video ends up in the algorithm, or if you guys are my first time ever watching my channel. But if it is your first time ever watching, please subscribe, put on the notifications. We love to cover a lot of gaming news out here, and we'd love to do more Switch 2 news. Leave a comment down below and let me know if you guys would like that. Of course, the usual social affiliate links and social links down below. Let's dive into the news itself. So first and foremost, if you guys have had a chance to go and see this, let's go cover up kind of like roughly what the Switch 2 is going to be looking like. So there's been a lot of brand new things. Like there's been a lot of leaks coming out over here for the Nintendo Switch 2. And well, it's nifty. Like we're seeing accessory leaks too as well. And this is where some people are trying to get like the rough idea of, well, what's going to be happening with the console itself. Typically when things have like accessories, cases, maybe third-party chargers, whatever it might be, sometimes companies will have a chance to go and touch it, utilize it, and have a chance to start pre-making stuff. Because if you are selling a brand new console, such as the Switch 2 or PlayStation, whatever, you do sometimes want to have people either where it's like companies. So imagine game companies and third-party companies like an Ubisoft, where they'd want to have the console or basically a dev kit to have a chance to test out the game and launch and try to be a day one launch title, or have it launch as close as possible. That does happen a lot. And of course, as well, accessory makers, case makers, whatever it might be, also are on that same exact boat. Although not as closely tuned, but I'm sure you guys know what I mean. But now a lot of people are getting accessory leaks, and I've had a chance to go and see all this type of stuff, and we're seeing brand new functions and all of this with the console overall. And well, obviously this is giving people like different types of specs and kind of like looking with the console too. But like we're going to talk about the actual hardware itself in a second, but roughly we're now seeing like mock-ups of the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, once again, these are not official sources, kind of just made by people over here from Reddit, but like there is a few different things we've had a chance to go and see. We've heard like rumors with like augmented reality tied on in, where I've seen different types of internal specs where it is still roughly around the PS4 level, which is still good. I do think a lot of people are disappointed though on the PS4 Pro not being the standard, because it is, well, 2025 as of right this second, and things like the Steam Deck and Lenovo Go are on a higher level. And of course, things like the Portal, being able to utilize, say, the PS5 Pro through a remote play is also a big factor. But either way, we'll let Nintendo cook, and I do enjoy their consoles nonetheless, and this is kind of what people are kind of expecting that they're going to be looking like. As you guys can have a chance to go and see what like the kickstands out, etc., and all around just the overall colorways and all that type of stuff. But I think it looks overall, first and foremost, pretty nifty and cool from these are all like the rendered first vibes. But as I mentioned, I'm excited for this console, but some people are not. And we've kind of seen a lot of people discussing this too, because people are expecting like, what's going to be going on with this? What's going to be comparable on here too as well? Maybe I'll go and reference Zuby over here, who's had a chance to go and highlight and tweet out some of the leaks. We've seen some different types of articles too as well. But people are actually somewhat concerned on how it's going to be. Basically saying that some of the technology used in it is slightly older in comparison to what we're kind of seeing as of right now as the baseline for like mobile handheld gaming. So as I mentioned, like Lenovo Go's or Steam Decks, etc. So in my mind, I think it's okay. Like personally, I think it's all right, but at the same time, other people were not happy with it. A lot of people are expecting slightly better, especially because, well, it's going to be probably the same console for the next at least probably 5 years or so, knowing Nintendo. So like if you're going to have a PS4 graphically settings for a while, it kind of gets kind of bad, kind of quick over time. It's been the same critique we had the Switch as of right this second. Still love my Switch, but I think anyone who would disagree that the performance for it 8 years later, which is justified, it's been 8 years, but I'm sure you guys can understand, like, it just sometimes you want to have good graphics and good vibes with it. But as of right now, we do have the big leaks out here. So basically, the memory appears to be an SK Hynix LPDDR5 48 gigabyte. Link images also show that NVIDIA's logo, which is again entirely expected given the previous leaks, and the previous leaks is that Nintendo themselves have had confirmed contracts with NVIDIA. And as well too, it's also powered by NVIDIA hardware. So basically we're using the Tegra 238 system on chip, the SoC, which is based on the Orin SoC family. The CPU also has 8 cores and a 12x ARM Cortex cores, while the GPU based on NVIDIA's Ampere architecture includes 2048 CUDA cores. Now, I'm not going to be lying, I really don't necessarily know the nitty gritty of all that, but I do believe these are all custom made for Nintendo. They're going to be probably selling tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions, depending on how well it does. I mean, if you look at the Wii to Wii U, it could be a little sloppy, but either way, NVIDIA is going to be kind of going and making sure Nintendo's taken care of. And usually the same thing we saw with AMD for PlayStations and Xboxes, they do also use their own custom technology to basically make it a little bit more fine-tuned for mobile gaming, optimizations for, like, say, Nintendo's engines for how they make their games. It's a big deal to go no, but so this is kind of like where people are now getting the rough idea and example of how good it might go and be. And I think overall it's nifty. They also do have a confirmation that the hardware will be reportedly using deep learning super sampling, resolution, and ray reconstruction. Basically, once again, confirming that there will be ray tracing on the console itself. Overall, I do think the first impressions are cool. I'm probably going to buy it. I might be apprehensive on it because I haven't been, in all honesty, too proud of most Nintendo games. A lot of them in the past, like, 2 years or so, besides, like, the token good big boys, like, you know, like Breath of the Wild and all that type of stuff, like Twilight Princess. That's a Twilight Princess, but whatever. Don't roast me in the comment section down below on that one. Tears of the Kingdom. But as we have all these different types of games, like, I need something nice to want to go justify buying it. And I'm probably assuming they're going to maybe have a Nintendo, like, proper Mario launch title in more the vein of, like, say, Mario Odyssey, which, if you guys don't remember, I actually used to speedrun that back on Twitch forever ago. If you guys want to see some videos on that, let me know. But so also, apparently, according to previous leaks, it won't feature built-in frame generation, though. However, several console games have shipped with AMD FSR frame generation, and on PC, it is possible to mix DLSS super resolution with FSR frame generation, and we might see that again from some developers making Nintendo to Switch games as would extract more performance. So DLSS ray reconstruction might be the only real advantage that hardware has over the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and S, because right now it is technically weaker. So otherwise, experts concur that the new console will be much weaker than even the Series S, and this is where the big drama of the video is, and it's rumored to be limited to 4K resolution and 30 frames per second when it's currently docked, and a little bit weaker, kind of how it is for the current Switch when it's not, like in the mobile form. So, and again, this is nothing new for Nintendo fans. The last competitive console in this regard was the GameCube, which also flopped, but I loved my GameCube itself. So I think the big deal is going to be obviously like the mobile, like that's like the overall big perk of this. And once again, this is where people are kind of getting some overall vibes on it. So kind of just using it here for Zuby as a reference, like below NVIDIA GeForce 2050, which at this current moment is actually a somewhat subpar card. Things like Monster Hunter Wilds would not even be able to go run properly on that. And that's a brand new upcoming game that'll most likely be out before the brand new console's out. As well, they also did have some comparisons too that they might be using a smaller, or I think a bigger nanometer for when they're kind of utilize the production of all this type of stuff. So it's very intriguing to have the chance to go and see. Also, I think my random phone's going off over here, and I think my camera also broke. You guys can tell why we're taking a break to go fix some of this stuff, because what on earth has happened. But anyway, to kind of wind down the rest of the video on over here is that it's intriguing because some people are saying like, hey man, like handhelds, are they be as good as the PS4 Pro? And they're kind of like making fun of it and they're kind of roasting it. And they're saying like, hey man, why is everyone compared to the PS4 Pro? Which I saw that rumor everywhere else. Like I saw a lot of other people out there on the planet saying like that's like their go-to, what they're expecting it to as well. So I don't know. It's intriguing because it is a little bit weaker than people were expecting. And although I'm happy with it, like I think for mobile gaming and Nintendo having its own baseline games, kind of how people do for PlayStation, they'll buy a PlayStation mainly for the exclusives. I will most likely be buying a Nintendo Switch 2 for the exclusives. And as well, like I think it's just a mobile gaming. It's not meant to be like this crazy groundbreaking performance thing, because if you're mostly going to be using it mobily in like your couch and your bed, relaxing, letting your kids use it, whatever, I don't think it's the biggest deal at the end of the day. But some people are basically trying to go and say like it's maybe not necessarily as good and efficient too as well, which is still not bad on top of that too. And I don't know. Like, I don't know, some people are kind of calling out other various things too as well. So no, people are just not really too sure. But I do want to also say as well, because I even saw some comments on other critiques on it, that some people might be concerned on, say, like for them trying to weaken the overall performance of it due to it being a mobile thing and trying to save battery, which is valid. And as well, because I think most people maybe prefer a longer battery life than having better hardware. I'm on the opposite. I'd rather have a shorter battery life, but better hardware. But I'm more of a docked player. But I can understand the main perk of a Switch is you bring it on vacations, on an airport, you want to sit on your couch, as I mentioned. So, and your kids are using it, whatever it might go and be. But overall, it does kind of seem like people are a little bit skeptical on the idea, on the leaks, on the performance of it. People were expecting a little bit better, but as well, I myself personally am okay with it. I don't think I necessarily hate it. I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. I will be probably a day one buyer. And if you guys want to have more Switch leak news, let me know when it comes to all the internal, all that. Like, let me know. Like, subscribe if you guys want. We're still technically on a little bit of a YouTube break, or will be the next few days, but be on the lookout for some videos, put on the notifications, and subscribe if you guys are new. Leave a like and all your thoughts down below. And well, hopefully you guys can let me know if you guys want to buy a Switch 2 or not.